Hey guys, so today I want to talk about the Ichimoku Cloud and why it makes such a great indicator. So, as we're looking here on this chart, we can see that we have the Ichimoku Cloud set up. It's a type of charting system that is used in technical analysis to display support and resistance, momentum, and trend in one view of a stock. So as you can see on the screen, we have Roku up, and I'm currently using the Ichimoku Cloud. But just to show you guys that you can use this on the completely free version and you don't have to pay for anything, although I'm using the pro version here, I'm going to be running in incognito mode just to demonstrate this. So let me get that set up. So I'm going to head over to incognito window, and it's tradingview.com, completely free. And let me pull up Roku again. So first thing we're going to notice is it's a little bit different. Chart is white. You can see we have the candlesticks, so just because it hurts my eyes a bit, we're going to change that. All right, so now what are we going to want to do to set this up? As you can see, I'm not even logged in. It says start your free trial right here. We go to indicators, and we could type in Ichimoku Cloud. It's the first one that comes up. So we're going to add that. And of course, this looks very confusing at first, but I will explain it. So let me take off the volume bars for now. You can see still running the free version here. Just change the color of these just to make it more visible. Green and red. The others are good. Okay, so as you can see, we have the Ichimoku Cloud here. And right now it does look confusing, but I'm going to explain this and break all these down for you. So this olive green line that we have up here is called the lagging span. The lagging span is created by plotting the closing price of 26 periods behind the latest closing price of the asset. So that is what that line is. This is the green line right here. It's called the lagging span. Now, as for the blue line here is called the conversion line. It's the midpoint of the highest and lowest prices of an asset over the last 9 periods. In other words, it shows an asset's short-term price momentum. The red line down here is called the baseline. The baseline is a moving midpoint. It bases on the high and low over a set number of periods, normally 26 periods, and is calculated by adding the high and the low and dividing the two of each period. So as you can see, they're essentially moving averages, but of different periods. Now, these two down here, this is called the cloud, is what creates the cloud. This light green line is called the leading span A, and it uses data based on the 26 periods and 9 periods. And so what this does, it allows it to react quicker to price changes. So it's moving faster than the red line, and I'll explain why. The red line is called span B, and it moves slower because it's calculated using 52 periods of data. So as you can see, we have a lot of things going on here, and I'm going to show you exactly how to evaluate this. So to get started, to set it up like how I set it up, once again, this is just how I set it up. You don't have to do the same. I'm going to remove the lagging span. I'm going to change this to red just so that we have the same colors on here. And I'm going to make this, I'm going to take off the leading lines. Okay, and as you can see, we have the cloud and we have our two blue and red lines here. Now, just because I took off the leading span lines doesn't mean they're not still there. We're just not seeing them. We're just seeing the shape of the cloud. So now to evaluate this, what can we pull from this? What is this basically trying to tell us? So when the blue line or the conversion line is above the baseline, that means we're in a bullish trend. And when the red line is underneath the blue line, that means we're in a bearish trend, just like moving averages. Now the difference here is that you don't want to enter a trade until the candles are above the cloud. And what does this allow you to do? This allows you to basically kind of get rid of all that consolidation period. So if we take a look on the 4-hour time frame, let's do this, and let me remove extended hours. All right, so if we take a look here, where does the bulk of the consolidation fall? It falls right in the cloud. So you wouldn't have gotten mixed up with going in on the stock and actually getting burned during this period on either calls or puts just because it was consolidating in the cloud. You wouldn't go in on a trade until it exits the cloud. So like right here, where you see it crossing over. So you could have technically rode this up from 159 all the way up to 184. You know, that using support and resistance and other indicators, you could have determined where to take profit. So now as we're looking at this, the key basics to take away here is underneath the cloud is where you want to play puts. If we go underneath the cloud, like as you can see right here, underneath the cloud, you want to play puts. So this would have been a prime area to play puts. And you could even, you know, even if you rode it back up until here, if you didn't get out at this point down here, you still had a long time. And that would have been an ideal area of using support resistance to find that. Obviously, this was March, but if we look, there was many opportunities here where we broke down, lines cross, and on the smaller time frames as well. Now, you can see most recently we had a strong uptrend. So how could you have gotten in on this? Well, you see right here, we go above the cloud and the blue line crossed over the red line. So this would have indicated we are in an uptrend. Obviously, we could have rode this up, but it did pull back down. As we know, the whole market pulled back recently. Now, just because this pulled up doesn't mean that, you know, I had to hold all the way until here. You could take profit right here. You know, this was 200. This is psychological resistance right here. You could have taken profit right here, and, you know, you could have went back in again. So the Ichimoku Cloud is really how you make it, but it's a wonderful indicator to kind of tell you when a stock is consolidating, when it's going up, because you're playing, you know, calls above the cloud and you're playing puts below the cloud. So I'm going to head back over to my browser, how I have it set up over here, and I'm going to show you how to evaluate this a little bit more. So we're on the 1-day chart, and typically you want to use it on larger or longer time frames. However, it's very well able to be used on smaller time frames as well. Even if I show you on the 15-minute, you can see we have it here. Let me just open this out for you guys. Yeah, you can see you could still play it on the smaller time frames. It works just as well. Now, how do you want to use this? You could see that you could have gotten in on calls right here during the day when it was at 202 and rode them all the way up to 204 at the end of the day, just using the Ichimoku Cloud. Now, we can add other things like the MACD, the RSI into the picture and kind of, you know, determine if it's underbought, oversold. You could see at this point MACD was crossing, so that's another bullish signal. RSI was low, another bullish signal. Now, even if I were to add 8 and 20 moving averages, you can see we crossed over right there too, so another bullish pattern. I'm going to hide those for now. If we look at the resistance, you could see that we bounced from support right here, so another good thing, although we formed a resistance right here. And if we look at the long-term resistance, let me demonstrate those. You can see that's all the way up here at 203. So you wouldn't have even had to worry about it at this point where it crossed over, and you could have rode this up all the way to the end of the day. So really what I'm trying to show you guys here is that the Ichimoku Cloud is a great indicator. And just to go back what it is again, it's a type of charting system used in technical analysis to display support, resistance, momentum, and trend in one single view. So with that said, you play calls above the cloud, puts below the cloud. Inside the cloud is where you don't play because consolidation is happening. And that is what makes the Ichimoku Cloud such a great indicator. I hope this helped, guys.